Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and this is day one of Crimson Vow Standard. And of course, we're going to play Vampires. Vampires, baby! We've got a number of new cards, so as you look at the deck list, you're probably wondering what a lot of these do. So rather than fill it up with a lot of blah 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 in the beginning while you look at the cards, I'm going to tell you what some of these cards do. We're going to start in the 1-drops. Voldaren Epicure is a 1-red 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Create a blood token. This is an important card, even though it is simply a common and a 1/1 for 1, because you really need to deal damage to your opponent to trigger some of the awesomeness that the Vampire Tribe comes with, and the blood tokens are a major theme of the deck. This card goes especially well with Vampire Socialite, which is a card we used in the last standard format that says whenever an opponent lost life this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on each other vampire you control. It's a pretty sweet Vampire Lord. Then we've got another new one, Voldaren Bloodcaster. For 1 and a black, this is a 2/1 flying. Whenever this or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, transform this. It becomes a 3/3 flyer. And at the beginning of combat, you make a blood token into a 2/2 hasty bat creature. So it's a ton of stats, but it requires a ton of blood to make work. And yeah, it might be a while before we can use that bat ability, although I have pulled it off once. So the card has a 2/1 flyer for 2 that poops blood when things die, is a good start and a good weapon on its own in the vampire deck. Next up, we have a Blood Tithe Harvester. A black, a red, a 3/2. You get a blood token just for playing it, and you can sacrifice it to give target creature -X until end of turn, or X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Pretty cool card, and I would love to try out like maybe some ways to get it back from the graveyard so that I can reuse it as kind of a removal spell on a stick. Double the number of blood you have, especially when you have a bunch of blood around in the deck anyway, means that this can remove most of the things you need to remove, but it can also get some punches in as a 3/2. Then we have a two Falconwrath Forebear. This is where we get into the part of the deck where I'm not sure. But for one thing, I thought this would be very good against control. For 2 and a black, you get a 3/1 flyer that can't block Vampire. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. You can return this to the battlefield by sacrificing 2 blood tokens. That's pretty cool. You can do it at instant speed. So the idea with this card is mostly that you want to discard it to a blood token, and then later bring it back by sacrificing blood tokens after a board wipe to keep pressure on the opponent. Vampire's Vengeance is 2 and a red for an instant that makes a blood token but also deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Should be great against the mono-white decks in the format, so I anticipate some awesomeness from Vampire's Vengeance. Then we've got 2 Dominating Vampire, which gain control of target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of vampires you control until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. This can also target your own creatures to give them haste, or this can just come down, swing in by targeting itself if you played a turn 1 vampire and a turn 2 vampire and getting some damage through. You can sacrifice the vampires that you steal, or the creatures that you steal rather, to Innistrad Predator, which has 3 copies in this deck. Adding the Voldaren Epicure, kind of these value-based 1-mana vampires, made Innistrad Predator a much better card. You can also sacrifice Blood Tithe Harvester and Voldaren Bloodcaster to it, and get blood along the way. Then we've got Angie, the Maid of Dishonor. This is 2 and a red-black for a 4/5. And whenever 1 or more this or any other vampires enter the battlefield, create a blood token. It triggers once each turn. Sacrifice another creature or a blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This is the backup burn plan when you get into a standoff with green or with white. They'll just have a hard time closing out and killing you if you can turn all that blood into burn. Then we have 1 Florian, because I actually found it to be one of the worst cards in the deck. I was having a really hard time getting it to trigger and a really hard time just getting to play it. So it got scaled back from the version that I played on stream. And then in the mana base, I hate missing land drops. You guys know this. I was getting mana screwed all the time, so I have 26 lands, but 6 of them are creature lands and 4 of them make blood. So we'll see if that comes back to bite us with flooding or not, or if powering up these lands can help us finish the job. I had Shatterskull Smashing in this spot. Right now I'm trying 3 of each creature land. Maybe it should go back to Shatterskull Smashing, but I'm done playing decks that need to play their 4-drops on curve and then make use of additional mana and run 24 land, because I never curve out to 4. It's impossible for me. The Castle Dracula / Voldaren Estate taps for 1 life for a vampire spell, and 5 and a tap makes a blood token, but it costs 1 less for each vampire you control. So often you're tapping this for a pretty low price to keep making blood. So that's the deck. This is where we're at with it. When I streamed, I had a slightly different build. There are several cards I'm not using or that I cut. Let me show you a few of them. I'm going to go to Not Collected. I'm going to go just to Crimson Vow for the new cards, and I'm going to search for a vampire. Oh, collected and not collected. I guess I have a lot of vampires. So Gift of Fangs was a card I played with at first, and it was doing okay, but I ended up cutting it because I wanted more reliable and higher impact cards for the right matchups. This was just kind of being very medium all the time, and I cut it. Just wasn't quite the impact I was looking for. I could run more of these, but I think they're only good against control, and I'm now, after playing some games, I think they're only good against some forms of control. I think this card, Bloodveil Purveyor, is particularly bad. I wouldn't run this at all. I don't plan to run it in any decks. This card, this is close, but I think I need to be more aggressive and be more concerned with closing out games. So I'm keeping Henrika on the sidelines as well. I had Sorin in my first version of the deck that I played on stream. Sorin got cut. It's probably great in some matchups, but like control. But here, I felt like I needed to end games quicker. I think if I played the deck again, this in best of 3, like this would be a sideboard card. And if I knew control was meta, maybe a couple of these would be better than all the Angies that I played. But it just wasn't that high of an impact in this kind of shell. It's a very mid-rangey card. We're trying to be an aggro deck. Cemetery Gatekeeper is a card I want to try in this deck, and we'll probably try 4 of at some point. Here's the thing. I'm not sure it's good, and it's mythic. I know many of you run right out and craft the deck when I put it on YouTube. I'm actually trying to save you some mythics because I'm not positive you need this. But if we find that we're not fast enough, this deck probably needs to try this card out, and it might be what's missing. So that's what's going on. This very might be make the final version of the deck. Otherwise, looking across the rest of the deck, I mean, this card's too expensive. Edgar Charmed Groom. So this is a card you can easily play in the deck by turning your basic lands into pathways, and it actually fits well because you have so many ways to make the white mana. The problem is this card is trash. It gets bounced or exiled in every matchup, and if it dies, it's still too slow. So as much as I would like to play this thematically, and we might play an Edgar deck later, on day 1 I'm not going to tell you to craft it, because for me this card was absolutely bad, and trust me, I would never had a problem casting it. I was able to cast it whenever I wanted to, and it was still bad. So it was heartbreaking, honestly. But yeah, he's a sad groom, gloomy groom. All right, Olivia Crimson Bride is just too expensive for the deck, I think, but we will try it in a future deck of some kind to see if maybe this is what we're missing. All right. I have talked through a number of the vampires that didn't make the cut. I have talked through the list. This is my first try of vampires of the new set, and I'm also recording at about 1 in the morning after streaming for 11 hours, so I'm a little tired and low energy. But I'm not going to leave you without a video on the first day of the new format. And I've got plenty more to come. So enjoy this first dip, this first little easing into the new format with vampires. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Here we go. Let's see what the vampires have got for us. We put on the Sorin V-neck to celebrate the occasion. Yeah, we need a 2-drop, but otherwise we have something really close to a curve. And who knows, with the dominating vampire, maybe we steal our opponent's 2-drop. It's too bad this only sacrifices a vampire. It would be fun to sacrifice my opponent's creature to draw 2 cards. Oh yay, islands. Right away. How exciting. I think I can still get more damage out of this card. Man, this won't give itself haste here. Missing our 2-drop vampire is turning out to be quite the beating. Alright, blue-white, you gonna Doomscar this? Trying to think of how I'm gonna pressure them enough to sneak an Immersturm Predator into play. I guess it still makes a blood token. It makes a blood token no matter what. Oh, we're holding back. Alright, let's punish him for it. Now their Doomscar is considerably less effective. Unless, of course, they can also Fading Hope this and Doomscar at the same time. That'll be nice for them. Eh? Nothing? Cool. Hive, so we have a creature land. That's a really important follow-up. What do you guys think? I feel like what they want to do is divide by 0 the Predator, untap, and Doomscar. So what I need to do is play the Dominating Vampire, give it haste, attack with all, they bounce the Predator, they take 8, they're at 3, and then if they Doomscar, they also need an untapped land to also blow up the Hive. Is there a better way to do it? I guess if they divide, I can just replay this, so they need to wait till end step? Okay, that's what I should do. I should attack. If they divide this in attacks, we just play it again. And then they didn't get rid of it with their Doomscar. This is good. Hit. Now they're at 2. So, they're going to bounce this on end step and then Doomscar, but we can untap and try to Dominating Vampire. We can also play this for blood. We can also sacrifice this and draw 2 cards. I think that's the play. And then we also play the Harvester. It gets blown up, but we have a blood token from it. I guess the Dominating Vampire doesn't have haste unless we have other vampires, huh? Well, that's a bit of a problem. So this is 1/2. We can give this haste. Ooh, we can give this haste. So if they manage to Field of Ruin this, if they divide by 0, and then untap, Field of Ruin this, and Doomscar, we untap, play this, give it haste. Okay, they do this first. Alright, the Predator is still on the board. What are they gonna do? Here's Doomscar. Easy mode. They didn't find the bounce spell. 1-0. Alright, we really want red on 1, this on 2. We still don't have a 2-drop. Maybe we'll draw one. It would be nice to have a 2-drop on 2. Yay! Good job. Good job, deck. Of course, we go up against the enemy. Storm-Carved Coast. Oh! Never mind, it's Teamer. Teamer. So now, new card, whenever something dies, blood token. 5 blood tokens, I can make a blood token into a bat with haste, and this becomes a 3/3. Castle Dracula, aka the Valdarin Estate. You can get these styles with the pre-order bundle. Alright, so our opponent's on 5. They might burn down the house. If they do, that's a lot of blood. They might also dragon. But I think we've just got to go in there and dominate. Ramp into Goldspan. Ramp into burn down the house. Okay. Vampire's Vengeance off the top. So, when this or any other vampire enters the battlefield, you make a blood token. It only triggers once a turn. You can sacrifice another creature or a blood token, and each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I feel like we're a ways away from that being good, but do we just want to play this 4/5 and hope things work out? I don't know, man. We could also get the Predator down, but if they just have a Dragon's Fire and kill it, we'll feel really bad. Yeah. Let's play you. I mean, it does threaten 8 damage. We can sacrifice 2 blood tokens and really drain the opponent. I'm sure that they're an Epiphany deck. Why wouldn't you be? Another Predator. So it's very awkward. Well, let's start by turning our 4-5 sideways and see if they check them for divide by 0. That's a hit. I think we gotta go for the Predator. Cool. Eureka moment. Okay. How many turns are they going to take? That's always the new question. Oh, complete with Fading Hope, huh? That's nice. It's my upkeep. Any reason you let me untap? Magma Opus, that's why. That's pretty bad. Okay, that's pretty good. Check this out. So this card can be brought back from the graveyard for 1 mana by sacrificing 2 blood tokens. Which then lets us sacrifice this to save our Predator from our opponent's naughty Magma Opus. What do we exile, though? I guess if they have Leer, this is the biggest threat. That was fun. Unfortunately, we don't have enough blood left to bring this back out. And we're still probably way behind to somebody who can hardcast a Magma Opus. And now casts probably 3 or 4 All-Runs Epiphanies. So cool. My turn. Didn't know that could happen. Oh, it's just another Opus. Well, that was terrible. 1-1. Definitely with a grain of salt after whatever the hell that last game was. Oh yay, we go first this time. It makes a big difference. Our opponent solemnly swears they're up to no good. But this ain't Harry Potter. This ain't Strixhaven. This is Twilight. Alright, let's put the Harvester down, make a little blood token. Sentinel with nothing else going on, huh? What you got over there? Nothing. I think we just say go and we loot one of these mountains. If we're going to do that, should we do it now anyway? Because we could also discard this to draw 2, but we'd have to give up a pit fighter, which I don't want to do. We could hit a 1-drop if we do this now. And let's use the black mana because our 1-drops are all red. Okay. Green-black with the Celestis and the Sentinel. Opponent's deck is funky. So, we could play the Maid of Dishonor. We'd make a blood token. Then we'd be able to sacrifice things to burn the opponent's face. We don't have any blood, but if we play this, we could sacrifice the Harvester to kill the Sentinel to get in for 4. But I don't think the opponent really intends to block us anyway. I think we have to be prepared for some kind of board wipe, and I'm supposed to play the Predator here. But Angie might be better because Angie can burn right through the opponent. Let's see what they do here. I'll probably regret it if I don't play a Predator. It seems like there's a board wipe or something coming. The card's really powerful. Okay, we'll never know what Jaspera Sentinel and the Celestis were doing in a deck together. 2 and 1. Let's hope we can keep being on the play with 1 mana, 2 1s for days. Alright, we get to start with an Epicure, although that's usually a good combo with the Socialite, but I think you just play your 1-drop on 1 if you can. The blood is here. Ah, yes. The Nemesis. The great rival. Everything blue. I know that's weird for me to say, but that's where the meta is now. When you see Hall of the Storm Giants. I don't know, guys. I get a little bloodthirsty. I can't lie. Let's go to attacks. They've got something. Let's try to suss it out. They take all the damage. Let's go for a Socialite. Play around, you know, Jwari Disruption. Increase the stats of our creatures. Infernal Grasp. Well, that's going to make another blood token. Don't think I'm ready to sacrifice these quite yet. Celestis. Okay, they have no Fading Hope or it would have held priority. So how do we take the biggest advantage of them here? Do we want to make more blood or do we want to grow our creatures? Shadow's Verdict is a thing. I guess I'll go this route. And hope they don't have a verdict. Ooh. It reeks of desperation. Welcome to the Eternal Night. Very lore appropriate. And that's a scoop. So we were dropping them to 1 there, but all we had to do is tap a land or blood for 1, which we would have had a tough decision there, but probably would have tried it. Blood for untapped land into a hive. 3 wins, 1 loss. The edge of the even money dance. On the play, look at that curve. Oh, baby. Light them up. Have we found mono white? It's been a minute. Literally like a minute. I don't think they want to block the Falcon Wrath. But in case they do, let's play the Blood Caster so we get blood if this thing dies. Did we really just draw this card? Oh, baby. Oh, bring him out. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, do we do it now? I think I do, because these can get bigger. Oh. Oh. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Ah, Spellbinder. You always ruin the fun. They'll take dominating, I'm sure. They have to, right? Feels like they have to. Otherwise, I'm going to take that Spellbinder and slap them with it. They'll take 7. They'll be on death's door. There it is. Good draw. So I'd like to discard this because once we have blood, we can get this back for free. So I might just pitch it to a blood token and play the Harvester. If we attack here and they trade with the Bloodcaster, that makes a blood. This makes a blood. So yeah. It's good stuff. Our opponent considering not blocking. What kind of an opponent would you be? Maybe we would play the can't block 3-1 if they don't block. They'll just be so low on life we can press them through the roof. Okay. Play you. Now, if we hit exactly a black source here, we can play it and get this back pretty quickly. More likely we won't. Yeah, so we'll play this tap land. There's Asha of the Fallen. There's Kabira takedown on the Falconwrath. Okay. Opponent's not out of it yet. That's a huge draw. What a draw. All right, so let's do this. Because I want this to get a +1/+1 counter. I don't think the instant speed matters that much here. No, that's my only black? Oh, I thought I had 2 black. Instead, I have triple red. Oh, okay. I'm a bad Magic player. Fail. Do we offer them a trade then? Maybe we just save this for next turn, given the mistake we just made. I'm doing it. I'm just going to save it till next turn. I don't want to trade this. This is too good. Really? Mono white only rolls one way, baby. They got that homestead courage. Wow. I'll take it. I'll take it. You don't know my full power. Oh, look at that draw. I guess punished a little, to be honest. Could have had these attacking this turn. Still pretty strong. All right, Mono White. Show us what you've got. A Brutal Cathar. Probably the best draw they could have, and I don't think it will matter. Not the courage. Anything but the courage. All right, time for the new emotes. Get them. Even money dance. Even money dance. Even money dance. Dance, 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 dance. It's a vampire even money dance. You like it? It's the best I can do at 1 in the morning after streaming for 12 hours, okay? Don't give me a hard time. 11 hours. Who's counting? I just make up my stats eventually. We get to that point of the day where it doesn't matter what's real. Ugh. a control hand. It's a control hand against a Chandra avatar. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm a maniac. We're up against some small creature deck, right? Alright, Socialite. Tempting to hold up Infernal Grasp there and just kill this pack leader. Oh, it's a Ranger class, okay. And then we get in there. Menace. Play this and play this. Hope they don't make this thing bigger so that the Vengeance can kill it. Because if they spend their turn like leveling this up and attacking, that's probably good for us. Because we get in for a bunch more than they get in for. Literally double. Oh god, it's getting good out here. That Blizzard Brawl is upsetting, but not the end of the world. We still get to attack with our Socialite. I guess I'll play one of my castles, and we'll Vampire's Vengeance. But first, let's let the opponent level their Rangers classes. There's one. How about the other? Thank you. Thank you so much. Alright, I think we keep this around instead of digging, but I'm not sure. Because this can make blood too. Yeah, I think we keep it. Because the plan is to bring this back out. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. They're impressed by this little guy. I've been impressed by this little guy. Way better than I ever expected, that's for sure. This is definitely not the explosive draw, but we've seen that the removal spells can get them. Level 3? What's your hand? Must be pretty bad. Alright, bring it out. And what do we have here? A scoop. Here we have a scoop. 5-1. We roll. How about some more of this on the play stuff? The deck is showing up so far. Much better than it did on stream, but I think the changes that I made a lot of sense. On the draw, but it's a good curve. If something's gonna get there on the draw, it might be this. This is our first time on the new board for YouTube. You get to put out the candles. You get to flick the rose petals this way and that. I don't know what this is. Like some vat of rosy, petally blood. You get to toss that around. I don't know. Woodland Chasm. No idea what my opponent's playing. I'm just over here triggering flower sound effects, okay? That's not what we wanted to see. If we play the Bloodcaster, the opponent can block the Pit Fighter, kill the Bloodcaster. It's very sad. What if we just don't attack into the Ghast and play the Bloodcaster and go over the top of it? In the long term, are we punished? Doesn't sound great, but it's probably better than giving our opponent a treasure here. A treasure they probably want pretty badly. Also, if we get 2 Bloodcasters down, we'll just get that much more blood. Everything is blood in this hand. Oh my lord. They're ramping. Your skeletal swarming won't save you. Hear the music? You feeling like a waltz? Usually we want red over black, because we have more red. This hand I'm not as sure, but you know. I think they're even flying to the music. Do you see it? Do you feel it? That is not good. Oh, I need a way to damage my opponent pre-combat to grow everything. But I don't think I'm gonna find it. More blood? Why not? This is just silly. I'm sure they'll block one. It's gonna give us 3 blood tokens. Let's see what they get with the eye twitch. Confront the past, huh? Do we dig for a land? See, I can play this pre-combat. That goes up to blood. Man, what do I discard? I don't know, I'm just passing. That's bad. That's pretty bad. But that's a lot of blood. I should have kept one of these because I could cast it after the blood, make a 2/2 with haste, and flip. I mean, we look to be in a lot of trouble. They have twice as many lands as we do. Yeah, we would have drawn a land too. I would love to go back and play this differently. Not a real option though. So, where's their Planeswalker? Jeez, they were ready for her. There's your Planeswalker. Vampire on vampire crime commences.
Out of my way.
How could you crash my wedding?
Stop.
Yep, that's how you do it. Now let's see if they're smart enough to keep the eye twitch back to defend against the Hive. Otherwise the Hive is going to pick Sorin off. Of course, they could just get Sorin back with Confront. That's probably their plan. Just bring Sorin back. It's so bad for me. All this blood and nothing cool to do with it. I guess I'm better off with leaving it on the battlefield and hoping that they flip expensive cards that they have to pay too much life for. Not good. Okay, so we saw that this deck has a serious weakness to Shambling Ghast and Eye Twitch, which, you know, when I play those decks, I lose to Epiphany. But it doesn't mean people don't stop playing them. That includes me. Oh god, all of our nightmares. All of our nightmares together. All right, how do we paw through this? We find the thing that kills every non-vampire creature. A little value. Block, block, block. You could still kill it, but they just get it back again. I don't have a good way to deal with a Planeswalker, I don't think, in this whole deck. It's going to be a problem if Sorin becomes super popular in the format. This is day one. I'm not surprised to see him, but he's not what my deck is designed to combat. Awesome. So, do I dig through my deck? I guess that's the strategy. We got all this blood, we need to use it to find cards that don't suck. I don't have a learn board. I need to make one if I'm going to steal things. What's the play? We can steal the Ghast, I suppose. Or we could try to, like, lure the opponent into a false sense of security. and we get them next turn. But they're probably not going to attack. Let's see what they do. Give them a chance. Maybe they'll do something silly. I mean, they might attack with this, but they'll probably hold back the 1 power things. Ooh, we got 2 Twitchers? Okay. Let's see what they do with their mana after this attack. Make another vampire? No? They're going up. The Deadly Dispute. And now they're playing LOL. God, we're dead. We are embarrassingly dead.
But you are too weak. Do what I demand.
Man, do I need a better way to sacrifice things. I've had enough.
A gift.
I've got absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing against this draw or this deck. All right, 5 and 2. We continue. Will we actually get to 7? I'm happy with even money on this thing. On the draw. But, you know, stuff. You know, against control, these creature lands are so good, but they've been so terrible against every other deck. Are you kidding? 2 in a row? Well, that's just rigged. What am I supposed to do about that? I mean, I can't beat these cards on turn 1 to save my life. They might want to cast a Deadly Dispute, and if they trade here, they don't get to. What you got? See? Let's keep the blood coming. I'm going to try to get these socialites pumped, but we have to get some damage through first. Let's see what our opponent has for turn 3. I would be grateful if you cast Environmental Sciences and passed. Crap. Guess I have to kill that. Ooh, that's a card. Twice the number of blood I have 2. Do you have another Deadly Dispute? Okay, just checking. That was terrifying. So we can play the Socialite and buff this, and that runs right into a meat hook. We could also play this, and if they hook, at least we have the blood to bring it back, but not until next turn. All right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. This is the place where it should do something against control. Of course, if they play Lulth here, I think we lose the game. We just have no good answers to that stuff. Witch. Well, that's exciting. Means they might not have blood on the snow or the hook yet. Because we're not beating those cards. I would love to leave up a mana to get this back this turn if something were to happen to the board. So that's what I'm gonna do. Suck 'em dry. That's the plan. Just keep bringing back this forebearer. It's our whole strategy. If they never draw a Lulth, we have a chance. Or if we draw Smashing or something. I think I don't have Smashing in, though. I think I just have 3 of each of the creature land. Deck. Do I still play Shatterskull Smashing? Against Lulth is a spot where it might be good. I hadn't found a place for it to be good in my other games. My turn. All this mana open. Sus. Very sus. So if they cast a spell, then they can double block this. That's probably their big plan. So just attack with the flyer. That's probably going to get killed, but at least we can bring it back. Really? So sus. That's a lot of blood. Makes me want to play Angie only when I can actually use Angie and just play another one of these. Because these aren't going to be very good for very long. Trying to be patient. It's hard. Yeah, there's definitely like a meat hook and a blood in the snow coming. Most certainly. Seems good. All the way back up to 19. All of our work undone. The Maid of Dishonor. More blood. And the ability to hit our opponent with some drains. So how can this deck beat the Meat Hook Massacre? That's gonna be the next thing I have to figure out, because we've played against... We were riding high, and we've played against 2 things that I'm look at and I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to beat that. Alrund's Epiphany, which most of the format can't beat, but Meat Hook Massacre, which is also really, really good. Can't beat Alrund's Epiphany most of the time, but will definitely show up a lot. I don't know, if we don't lose to any other creature decks, and we beat blue-white control, I guess it's still a viable deck. Having 2 bad matchups isn't the end of the world, but those, I think, are 2 decks that are going to be in the format no matter what. If they ever do ban Alrund's Epiphany, the next best thing is probably going to be Blood on the Snow Meat Hook Massacre, and it'll be everywhere. Well, they busted out the rope for this one. They can't let me untap with Angie, though. Too much damage. So they're going to cast their Blood on the Snow. Or they're going to cast their Meat Hook Massacre. Whatever it is that their 6-card hand can do, as I'm down to just 1 humble card. I hope it's not a disconnect. Those have been at an all-time high today. There's been so many issues with the servers today. Oh, they found the line. It's the eye twitch. Okay. And the... God damn. No!
I will show you what happens.
Not like this. That's... oh.
My power is for
Good game. It was all pointless. I'm glad you thought about it as much as you did. We'd hate to miss that play. I may as well sacrifice this, right? It's not getting in anymore. I guess when this comes out, it makes another blood. So we're just giving up 1 blood to get this back. So we have to try to really just drain the opponent using blood tokens? Is that true? 1 blood token to get this back, and then we can sacrifice it for the 2 life, but we may as well just sacrifice the blood token if we're going to do that. I know it costs 2 blood, but it makes 1 blood when this enters the battlefield. Alright. Just gotta try to drain him out. From 15, now 14, with a hook on the battlefield, that sounds impossible. But here we are. Jesus, I hate my life right now. These are the decks I know I pioneered. It's just so hard when I actually try playing anything else. And yes, I know they're good. I've played them. It makes me so angry though when I play other decks for content. I'm like, I could just be playing this and slapping you around. But no, I had to content, didn't I? Give up this. How close are we to winning? A little off, right? It's close though. Nine life. Well, if anything dies to the hook, we're in a much worse position, and any spell they cast is going to gain them more life. So how can I get there? Is there a way to see more cards? We can sack the blood tokens for that, but then we don't get the drains, and we need the drains. So we need 1 more turn of this. Sack this, bring back this, makes another one of this. I guess I should have played the land last turn. I was thinking I might pitch it for blood. That I can see now was pretty stupid. One, two, three. No way to just get 3 damage out of nowhere. No way to make anything unblockable. Also, when we sacrifice a creature, the hook gets us. So I guess we can't do that. Or we have to avoid doing that. I don't know, maybe they'll pay life in the wrong way. Who knows? Plus your Onyx, 0 your Lulth. Forget to kill stuff. Stack your triggers wrong. Use your Field of Ruin, ramp me for 2 more mana. All these things could happen. That's probably not good. Five and a tap to make a blood. 1 less for each vampire. Yeah. That's gotta be game, right? How can I get... Okay, if they only have 1 thing back, maybe I can deal them 3? Nah, they're gonna use this, then they're gonna sack this, then they're gonna get all that life. Alright. If I sack you... Triggers hook, but they're gonna get all those hook triggers anyway from the blood on the snow. They're just gonna make more spiders. God, this is so hopeless. Oh, what a nightmare. That was final boss too. You feel it. You feel it so much. All right, guys. Real talk. You can't beat Allrun's Epiphany. And you can't beat Lulth. So what can you do? What can you really do? If you win the creature matchups, that's really exciting. And you have some sweet stuff for that. But I don't know how this deck solves those problems. There just aren't good cards within the Vampire tribe. There aren't good cards within the colors that solve those issues on their own. So I guess one thing I've got to try is the Mythic Vampire. Maybe there's a way to exile some stuff from the graveyard, like their Eye Twitch, so that when they make more creatures, they take damage. But I still don't see how you beat a Lulth to save your life. I don't see it. But, you know, I'm tired. It's 1:45 in the morning, so my analysis, while bleak, may not be the best at this time. So we'll have to try it again when the sun is shining. Maybe more Vampire's Vengeance, you break the Lulth spider tokens down and you beat the opponent's face, you know? Maybe I'm just not running enough Vampire's Vengeance, or I never had it in the right spot. The mid-rangey cards like Angie and Immersturm Predator definitely felt like they had potential. Like, all this feels like it has potential until the opponent has 5 or more mana, and then you realize everything that is done in the format outscales this so badly. So you've got to get ahead. You got to get going fast. When you do, you have a chance. All right. I'm going to leave it there. In the morning, maybe some more answers will become clear. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.